Hello. Once again, I'm outside, sitting on my porch, which I'm actually using as a prop for what I want to talk about today. Because if you look down here, you will see that there are steps going up to the porch. And the argument that I'm going to make has to do with economics. Now, each one of these steps represent progress that we make in our lives to better ourselves and improve our financial position. Now, those on the left would say that the people at the very bottom, they need help. So it is the responsibility of government and everyone else to help them, to lift them up so that they will not be in poverty, so that they can live at a basic level, which they call a living wage, human rights, whatever they want to refer to it as. However, it doesn't work out too well, as the last 50 years of Lyndon Johnson's Great Society experiment has proven. The problem is, the further you lift people up, the further they expect to be lifted up. Exactly when does this concept of entitlements and rights end? And when does self-responsibility kick in? The other problem is, it becomes more difficult for those people to actually improve themselves and take responsibility for their own lives and their own direction. That concept may be difficult to swallow, but as you progress up the steps, you start at the bottom with any position, any job, even the children of somebody that owns a business, a corporation. They still start at the bottom. You may not believe it, but small businesses, their children are working in the restaurant, in the business, from the time they are very young. And they're not getting paid, or if they are getting paid, it's more like they're being forced to earn their allowance. And even children of the very well-to-do, people who run large corporations or flat out own these large corporations, they are given experience at home. They gain the benefit of their parents' experience and knowledge, and they live this business that they eventually will enter. So there's nothing guaranteed for those children. I remember a video I saw, a gentleman who owned a business in Tennessee. He was doing some work on a school bus that he wanted done. He wanted to turn it into sort of an RV. And he had men that were in his shop working on it. And he was not satisfied with the progress they were making. So he brought in his daughter. And his daughter just went in there and just started kicking ass. She was doing welding, she was doing cutting, she was doing all sorts of things you would never expect a female to do. She was late teens, either late high school or maybe just entering college, and she was just happy to bust her butt for her father. Maybe she will run that business one day, maybe she won't. But it sort of destroys the concept that the left pushes of the privileged child. She was more than happy to work at it. And many youth are, at least when their parents tend to lean right. Many on the left, on the other hand, are the spoiled trust fund children that they know they have a trust fund waiting for them. Now this is of course not an absolute. Many on the left do actually end up having to work at it for their parents, and many on the right do have trust funds, and they're just completely as useless as your typical liberal. But when you keep on lifting people up, they have a problem because you're artificially putting them at a higher level. And I'm moving because I'm trying to make the point. You're artificially putting them to a higher level. They're not starting out at the bottom, and they immediately expect to be able to go up to the next level. Why should I give up my welfare, my food stamps, and all the other benefits I get from the government for a job that will pay literally the same as what I get for free? There is no logic in that. And I should just hope that I'll be able to make more money in the future to better myself? No. You end up with the situation that you will see from the side of my porch, where the step to get to the first level becomes steeper. That steeper step discourages many. It makes it to where people decide it's not worth the effort to make that step, that they're better off just to stay where they're at, and instead demand more benefits, demand more help, believe that they deserve more, because that first step is too steep and it's not worth the trouble. It is for this reason that I am against welfare, food stamps, and all the other forms of coerced charity that the government forces upon the people of the United States of America. Now, I believe that there should be no federal sponsorship of these programs. Being the conservative that I am, I do believe that it is within the state's rights to provide these benefits, this coerced charity, if it is a desire of the voters of that state. But it's not covered in the Constitution. It says that you have, in the Declaration of Independence, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Happiness is not guaranteed. And none of the benefits of happiness are guaranteed. It just says you have the right to pursue it. Another reason why I'm against all of this coerced charity that the government does is it becomes very self-serving within the government. What do I mean by that? The bureaucracy. The bureaucracy, much like the VA and the scandal that has arisen recently, the bureaucracy does not care about those it is supposed to serve. The bureaucracy only cares about the perpetuation of the bureaucracy itself, because people's careers are attached to those benefits. It is not that they worry about the poor. It is that they are worried about their own career. They are worried about being able to make their car payments, their house payments. That is what the people are worried about. And that is why we had all of those bureaucrats creating false files so that they could get their benefits, they could get their bonuses. Well, our veterans suffered. Charities, on the other hand, a charity, they do not have the desire to continue the charity forever. They want to be driven out of business. They want to not ask for more money. They want a situation where there are no more people for them to help. That is the goodwill and the charitable attitude that exists within the United States. And this is the reason why I can't support coerced charity. I cannot support the federal government forcing me to take a percentage of my income to help all of those other people that do not have a job, that have too many children, that have broken families, that have no education, no hope for the future. And the reason why there is no hope for their future is because they are just perfectly content in living off the government teat. And if you take away that teat, maybe, just maybe, they might figure out how to support themselves. They might learn to take some responsibility for their own actions. Just another one of the many things that are wrong with this country. Things that need to change. But as I said, it is not something that I believe should be forced on the states. It is the state's choice on how to handle the people within their boundaries. Thank you, and I hope to talk to you again real soon.